Choosing an Australian state or territory for nomination can be tough, especially for those who have not been advised before embarking on a journey to Australia. Now in this video, we're going to run through the New South Wales nomination criteria that you must know to get new ideas and pick the suitable stream for you. And then I will outline the steps on how to apply for Subclass 491 visa, the state of New South Wales nomination. Hey, it's Teresa Cardona here. I'm a lawyer and a registered migration agent from Auspac Visa, where we help Filipino professionals, workers, students, graduates, trainees, partners, families, and all of our kababayans to migrate to Australia. So if you are new here, click that subscribe button and hit the bell to make sure that you do not miss any of my updates and videos on Australian visa. Now, to know where and how you can contact me or how to book a consultation, now please check the description box below. Alright, now, for those who are asking me why I am only making videos for Filipinos, it is because I am a Filipino and part of this is my service to my community. But do not worry, because whatever I discuss here are all fundamental principles of Australian migration law and visa processing. So it really does not matter what nationality you are. Okay? So let's start. Now, choosing an Australian state or territory can be a tough decision. As I've said, it makes you regret why you didn't know all these things before coming to Australia on a student visa, or even before making an EOI or expression of interest, or even prior to engaging someone else to assist you in your visa application. Now, and because the success of your PR skill visa application, namely Subclass 190 and 491, may only rely on the successful state or territory nomination, it will make perfect sense that you invest time to get this right now. So there are important things that you need to understand in Subclass 491 New South Wales nomination. Now, what are these important things before you approach the New South Wales nomination? You need to know that the New South Wales RDA office, or the Regional Development Australia office, will assist the New South Wales Central Treasury to manage the Subclass 491 nomination from February 2021. And you need to know that there are 12 participating RDAs to Subclass 491 nomination, and that you can approach any of the 12 depending on your situation and depending on whether you will meet the criteria. Now, each of these RDA offices will accept and assess the Subclass 491 nomination application and will determine the occupation for the respective regions. Now, the focus of the RDA at this time is to give a nomination to the applicants with skills and are working in the critical sectors. Now, also, you must know that New South Wales has a small list of occupation and that each of the RDA has also a list of eligible occupations. So, if you want a particular RDA for a nomination, check first if your occupation is eligible in the region so you can avoid wasting your time. And I will also put the New South Wales Subclass 491 occupation list for all the RDAs in the description box below. So you have to check it. Now, the nomination criteria are standard across all regions. It will not matter which region you want to approach. The requirement will all be the same for all the region. So, the important thing that you need to watch out for is your occupation eligibility in the region, and then find out whether you fall under any of the New South Wales nomination streams. Now, let's talk about the New South Wales nomination streams. Now, to be eligible for New South Wales nomination Subclass 491, you must choose a stream that you will be qualified. Now, in here, you must make sure that you meet the criteria of the stream that you choose. Otherwise, your nomination application will be refused. Now, there are 3 streams for New South Wales nomination. You will only need to choose only one, all right? So, what are the 3 streams? Now, first is living and working in the regional New South Wales. Second is for those who recently completed study in the regional New South Wales. And then third is for those who are living and working outside of the regional New South Wales. Now, what are the criteria in each stream? So, stream number 1 is for those who are living and working in the regional New South Wales. Now, to be eligible for New South Wales nomination under this stream, you must hold a valid skills assessment for an occupation in the region's occupation list. And you have been living in the designated regional area of New South Wales for at least the previous 12 months, and you have been working in your nominated occupation or closely related occupation in a designated regional area of New South Wales for at least the previous 12 months. Now, your employment must be at least 20 hours a week, but it does not need to be located in the region where you will be seeking the nomination. Okay, so please note that the employment in a closely related occupation will be accepted if it belongs to the same unit group in the ANSCO dictionary. Now, for example, your nominated occupation is 233912 for agricultural engineer. Now, the closely related occupation would be 233911, aeronautical engineer, 233913, biomedical engineer, 233914, engineering technologies, or 233915, environmental engineer, and so on and so forth. Now, those occupations will be accepted because they share the same first 4 digits, and therefore is classified as closely related occupation. All right, so stream number 2 is for those who have recently completed a study in regional New South Wales. Now, to be eligible for New South Wales nomination under this stream, you must hold a valid skills assessment for an occupation that appears on your nominated region's occupation list. And then you have lived in the designated regional area of New South Wales while completing your study, and you have completed your study or education with an educational provider where the study was completed within the previous 24 months, and then the education provider is located in the designated regional area in New South Wales, in which I'm going to put the link of the list of the designated regional area in the description box below. Okay, the study must meet the Australian study requirement, meaning the course you have studied was CRICOS registered and was completed for a minimum of 16 calendar months or 92 weeks, and that the qualification obtained from this study has been assessed as closely related to your nominated occupation by the relevant assessing authority. Okay. Stream number 3 is for those who are living and working outside of regional New South Wales. Now, stream number 3 has 3 categories, right? So, job offer in the regional New South Wales, at least 5 years skilled employment experience, the offshore applicants, and family ties in regional New South Wales. Now, okay, so let's unpack the streams and the subcategories, all right? So, let's call it stream 3A is for those who have a job offer in the regional New South Wales. Now, to be eligible for New South Wales nomination under 3A or under this category, you must hold a valid skills assessment for an occupation that appears on your nominated region's occupation list. And you must have an offer for ongoing employment that is in your nominated occupation or a closely related occupation, and that's for the minimum term of 12 months and 35 hours of work per week. And that the offer for the ongoing employment is from employer or business that is located in the designated regional area in New South Wales, and the business must be registered in Australia. For stream 3B is for those who have at least 5 years skilled employment experience, and this is for offshore applicants only. Now, to be eligible under this stream, you must be residing outside of Australia, and you must hold a valid skills assessment for the nominated occupation that is listed in the regional occupation list, and you have at least 5 years of skilled employment in the nominated occupation or closely related occupation. Now, please note here that you have to show that you have genuinely established residency outside of Australia, and that relocating offshore to meet this criteria is a bad idea because it will only be declined by the RDA. Refuse. Okay, so stream 3C is for those who have family ties in the regional New South Wales. Now, to be eligible for New South Wales nomination under this category, you must hold a valid skills assessment for an occupation that appears on your nominated region's occupation list, and you have an immediate family member in the designated regional area in New South Wales. Now, there are criteria for your family member that they must meet. Now, the family ties here would include your relationship with either your grandfather, your grandmother, your father, your mother, your brother, or your sister, including under a step or adoptive relationship. So, your immediate family must be at least 18 years of age, either an Australian permanent resident, an Australian citizen, or a New South Wales nominated provisional visa holder under 489. Now, your relative or your family must be currently residing in a designated regional area in New South Wales, and they should be or has been residing in the designated regional area in New South Wales for at least the previous 24 months. And you must ensure that your family member will complete a statutory declaration to confirm that they satisfy all of the criteria mentioned above. Now, please note that Subclass 491 sponsored visa is different from the Subclass 491 New South Wales Family Ties category. Alright? So do not confuse the last category, the family ties in the regional New South Wales, with the Subclass 491 family sponsorship stream. These are two different things, okay? So the Subclass 491 family sponsorship is a straight application to the Department of Home Affairs if you pass the points test and have a relative in the regional area who is willing to sponsor you and you have been invited under the skill select. Now, the 15 points will come from your approved relative, whereas in the New South Wales Family Ties category, the 15 points will come from the state of New South Wales. And although there are eligibility requirements that are quite similar to each other, a sponsorship from the relative is not required under the Stream 3C Family Ties in the regional New South Wales. Okay, so let's move on to the steps that you need to do to seek the New South Wales nomination, including the RDA and then the visa application. Now, the first step is to get an assessment to see if you pass the threshold requirements of the Department of Home Affairs. If you do not have any idea about this threshold requirement, contact us or check the immigration website to check your points. Now, if you pass, you may then lodge an EOI and choose New South Wales as the nominating state. Now, the second step is to submit an expression of interest for New South Wales nomination under the Regional Development Australia Office. Now, the New South Wales website requires that you monitor the changes and updates, specifically on the RDA's guidelines and occupation lists. We expect that RDA will publish very soon the process or perhaps a portal on how to make an application for nomination. Now, at the moment, the exact process is not yet published. The third step is to wait for the invitation for nomination. Now, with RDAs participating in the nomination process, now we expect the nomination approval or decision to be quicker. Now, however, just like any nomination process, we also anticipate that not all applications will be approved or be issued an invitation. But nonetheless, the nomination requirements are looking pretty straightforward. So it is best that you complete all the requirements first before making an application, and keep on monitoring for the changes or for new updates under RDA. And fourth step is to apply for Subclass 491 through the Department of Home Affairs website. Once an invitation is received, apply for a visa within 60 days and make the necessary payment of $4,045 at the moment through the Department of Home Affairs website. Now, the last step is to receive the visa outcome. Now, this is a decision made on your visa application. Now, if your visa application is successful, you will receive a visa grant with details on visa conditions. Now, if your visa application is refused, the letter will provide the reasons and an opportunity for you to make an appeal. If you receive a visa grant, congratulations. Now, but if you receive a refusal, contact our office so we can have a look whether the decision was correctly done and whether we can appeal it successfully. All right, so my tips. If you are interested in seeking a New South Wales nomination, monitor the New South Wales participating RDA websites to find out the exact procedure on making an application for RDA nomination and to be updated on the region's occupation list. Now, second, if you have an eligible relative living in the regional New South Wales, now seek their sponsorship. That way, you will not be subject to the limited occupation list of the regions. The Department of Home Affairs has a wide list of Subclass 491 family sponsorship occupation than Stream 3C family ties in the regional New South Wales. And then third tip is, if you are holding a Subclass 485 and have been considering New South Wales for residency and nomination, it's time for you to make a move and check the RDAs. Check the requirements, and perhaps it's not too late. You may be able to move or to start your residency in New South Wales. And then fourth tip is, if you have done your EOI, keep on improving your score. Do not let your English deteriorate, and make sure that you maintain and continue working in your nominated occupation. And always on the lookout that all your requirements and all your papers are still valid. And the fifth tip is, if you have not done anything yet and you think that you will qualify in any of the streams, the most important thing is to get started. If you need any help and assistance, contact us and we will be happy to help. Okay, so that's all. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and follow me in our Facebook page, and I'll see you next week. Bye.